Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take another look here at Avax, double check a few key factors. Keep in mind I have my macro fib levels pulled up here just so we get better perspective on larger movements and the fact that we weren't sure where the top was at. It seems pretty likely the top is in now at about that $28 mark, but we'll double check that as well. So if you're new to the channel, just want to say welcome on board. If you've been watching for a while, deeply appreciate the support and obviously hitting the like button every time you watch the video. Really helps grow the channel, gets us in front of more people, and essentially, takes away from those moon boys because they keep stealing all the views for some strange reason, and they have a tendency of being total idiots. Again, to each their own. So you want a 500x leverage a long from a potential bottom that isn't even in. That's a different story altogether, right? So what I want to look at here, first of all, is liquidation backend data, kind of see what's going on. While we have this loading here, we also want to verify and double check a couple of things here. First things first, thanks to my community members here for some awesome feedback. Appreciate that. Glad we took some profits here on our Avax short, 22.5% on 21 hours. And of course, Bitcoin 32% in 3 days. So it's been a nice little situation there. In fact, coincidentally, 25.40 was our profit target for Avax, if I'm not mistaken. We take a look here, 25.40 is our first profit target. Yeah, so that's right where the price bounced off of. That's kind of basically that key fib level, that macro fib level we talked about yesterday. And again, when you set profit targets, you set them just above key fib levels if you're looking for take profit targets on the way down, and the inverse as well, just below fib levels or resistances to ensure you get filled, because setting round numbers and going exactly at those specific levels can be very, I wouldn't say it's bad, but for the most part, you're going to find difficulty getting filled. So there's probably a lot of other orders in front of you because people will more often than not round up or round down. Okay, so take a look here at Avax. Let's double check. $24 is the next area of liquidation. Possible consideration for a next target. I'm not recommending you necessarily short this coin now, just because Bitcoin might be bottoming out. It's still too early to tell. Feels like a dead cat personally, but I think at this point we're in a situation where the price action for most coins is bearish, and Avax, while it's still pretty strong, it's recovering nicely, just like other coins are right now. It still has it has a tremendous potential to continue to free fall. And the reason why I say that is just because if you look at the larger time frames, there's a lot of reasons here, not just the fair value gaps, which the more recent one has been filled, but the more important thing here is that it just went up for too long and has to pull back. It's just a kind of a normal thing in trading. So we look at this here, hit a 9 and 2 sequential, got a reset, came all the way up to another 9, went extra overtime there. So it literally ran for like 36 hours straight. And now it's pulling back for another, 3 to 6 4-hour candles, or effectively just in a position where it's more likely to pull back further. Because again, you take a look at this fair value gap, down as low as this 0.5 fib level at $24. I'm rounding up a little bit. That is essentially where I think we will probably see somewhat of a bounce. Okay. So I don't think the bottom's in for Avax, just outside looking in, but again, I'm personally thinking the same thing for Bitcoin too. That's usually where that comes from. If Bitcoin's bottom is in, I think Avax will probably recover and bounce quickly. In fact, it's bouncing almost perfectly off of this this current fib level, basically the macro fib level here at about 25.25. So just know we might see a bounce from here, and the price may just continue further up and not even look back. But history has a tendency of repeating itself. Greed is a very real thing, and I think Bitcoin has a little more meat left on the bone for the market makers. Okay, so take a look here at the daily time frame. Let's recognize a few things. So again, we're overextended with an 8, basically just seeing that natural reversal. We can see that we are getting closer to the 50-day SMA. Still staying above it is a positive sign though. We're over 50 on the RSI as well, so there's no means to think that Avax is totally bearish, right? It pulled back as expected, but it was expected that Bitcoin pulled back too. If that hadn't happened, Avax wouldn't have pulled back, right? So again, is Bitcoin going to continue further down? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Maybe watch my Bitcoin analysis from earlier if you're curious. I do feel like we're still moving. We're still planning, or I'm planning to take a long at a lower position here for Bitcoin. I think it's a little too early, but once more, I've been wrong plenty of times. So don't necessarily listen to me on that one. But if we look at stochastic RSI, we can see it's confirming that we have bearish divergence here. MACD's losing momentum. There's a lot of reasons why a pullback just would make sense. Okay, again, we just have some indications there. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we can recognize this as well. If we take a look at the moving averages, we can see that we are above the 50-day SMA here as well. It's a very positive sign. Okay, still good stuff. Just because we lost the 20 and that kind of led me to take that short trade doesn't mean you just short to the bottom, right? So we're in a position now where we're under 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is low, stochastic pulling back, MACD's diverging. There's really no reason to buy this dip, okay? Again, buying a dip just to buy a dip is just stupid. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. And I get it if there's other confirming factors, but there's not like a lot of confluence here at this level. We do have a previous macro fib level, sure, that's good. And this could be a pivot point here, especially if you kind of look at the larger macro potential for Elliott wave. But again, Elliott wave is just a theory, folks. You never base your entire trade based on one thing. You want to diversify and use that. That's why it's sometimes frustrating to hear some people talk a lot about other influencers that only use one indicator. I just think it's kind of unilateral and not really the most beneficial for you. Because if you're going to make a decision, say you're doing research, are you going to research based on what's most popular? Or are you going to do research based on what the user reviews are and what everything else has to say? I don't know. Me personally, I like to research. I really enjoy that. And I never just make a decision off the whim. I don't shoot from the hip in that sense. And this is part of my research, right? Again, it just speaks to me. It works really well. And over the last 20 years, it's been my full-time job. And I can tell you that it's been a lot of fun. And it's survivable because I don't take unnecessary risks. So just careful trusting some of those moon boys out there, folks. If everybody tells you it's going to the moon, that should be the first warning sign. Let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud in the hourly. We can confirm here, this is again very consistent with a lot of other coins. Everything here is confirming bearish divergence. All the more reason not to take a long into it. Now you'll find some people online that are posting 100x leverage trades. They got in right there at 25.20 and they took a long to the moon with a 100x leverage trade on Avax, and they're going to post that online. You're going to see that, and you're going to think that's what crypto is all about. That's not the case. It's trading in general is far from that. That's called risky behavior. They're probably opening multiple positions until they get it right, and then they're writing that one thing out and showing you how awesome they are. It's just unfortunate and ridiculous. It sets the standard, unfortunately, for how crypto trading is, but it really isn't. Okay, again, just throwing it out there. It's just kind of bugs me, but whatever. You can't change it. That's just the world that we live in. And crypto moon boys are everywhere. So I'll put and post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. I'll update our fibs here, make sure we're up to par here. But based on this current scenario, I'd say 24.85, 25 is a potential bouncing point just because we have a local high here, and we might see a pivot there. It would make more sense for the price to come down to this 0.5, this $24 mark, just because we have more resistance in this range. We have a little bit more volume. There's very little volume in this range, folks. Like Avax doesn't know what to do in this area because it just skipped it all together. So all that being said, we combine that and kind of take a look at the fair value gap on the daily. It just makes sense that the price action is due for further correction. Me personally, I think 24 seems logical. Again, if I'm wrong, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear it. I've been wrong plenty of times. It's perfectly fine. And obviously, if I'm incorrect here and we miss our dip, that's okay, because we got a nice little short going right now and we took some healthy profits. It's all good, right? The key takeaway is we consistently take profits and we're not getting super greedy in this market. It's just not the market, especially to the downside right now, because I think we're getting closer to the bottom, but we're not there yet, right? Bitcoin dominance is still very high. Altcoins are taking a pretty big hit. And it's just one of those markets where you just got to be kind of careful, okay? Careful in who you trust, including myself as well. So watch a few of my videos and get the feel for how I do things before you decide you want to join. To anyone who has joined and you're watching and basically following my signals, please make sure you read through my signals guide so you know kind of how these trades are supposed to be structured, or just my concept of how they work. Day trades as well. Make sure you understand that too. And then last but not least, take a look at our trade alerts. These are really good indications of coins I'm planning to take trades with. For example, I talked about heavy liquidation and that the macro is still bullish, but smaller time frames you want to short. Play it tight. There's no guarantee, right? These are all things I kind of indicate to you. We took that trade. It was a tight trade. In and out. All good, right? That's kind of how it goes. Okay, anyways, just letting you know that's all there for you. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care.